Now let's see how a for statement works. So for is also one of the conditional operation, conditional loop, so where we can check for certain conditions and go to a particular block and increment some values. So it is also same like if statement, but it has it within a single statement we do several actions. Let's see how it is done. So for more complex loops, for initialization, first you will be initializing and you write an expression, then you increment it, then you iterate the block. So everything happens in the loops. So when there are some complex logic that need to be written, so just writing with the if or else statements may be a complex, or it might take a longer time of coding. So in order to avoid that, we can go for a if for statements. So like C, execute initialization if expression is false, exit loop, otherwise execute block, execute increment, and retest expression. Okay, so simple example is for $I, initializing the value I is equals to 1. If I is less than or equal to 10, then it needs to be printed. Okay, if not, then again it increments the value here itself and it checks. This loop will iterate until it satisfies these conditions and it gets initialization. So we have in the example of while or do while, we were writing it as separately while the condition, and then it we were printing some value or the block, and then we are incrementing in that particular section. Here that is not the case. So we initialize, we check the condition, and we increment the value and print the particular block. So that's how a for statements will work, and we'll see some sample example regarding the for. Let me open this and explain to you. So here the below loop will print the months from 0 to 11, month equal to initially a month, and I'm declaring with a 0. If month is greater less than 12, then month plus condition. Then it executes this block, then increments the value here. As I said in my earlier tutorial, so in Perl the indexing always starts from 0. So that's the reason for month I'm initializing the value with a 0. So 11 stands for 12, so in this way, and it gets printed. So let me execute this program that is called as a for.pl. So here you can see month is 0, that means January, February, March, April, May, June, July. And if we wanted to write the condition, we can print instead of zeros and ones, then you can update the values here. If month equal to 0, then suppose here I can write some condition like if $month is equal to 0. Okay, then what I have to do, then you can do what you can do is print month is January. Okay, then you can close this and save it, and so it goes the loop. There is a problem here, so I think it's going to infinite loop. So equal to 0. See, month is January. So since I said equal to 0, so we have to compare why it went to an infinite loop is like, so since we were just equal to operator, so it is assuming some assignment, things like some assigning to the values. Whenever you have to check the condition, you should use a conditional operation that is equal to operation, so that it checks for the condition about this. So we had a good experience with this, right? So in this way the for statement will work, and we have another statement called for each. Okay, let's go and see here how it works. For each is the same, like it's similar to a for loop over list. For each variable list, it will each set of variable list, and it will check the block. For each element of list, set variable to equal to the element and execute the block. For each $I, and then checking for these conditions, then it is required, and you're trying to check the statements here. So here there is no increment operator, or there is no initialization values. So here it checks for all the conditions, especially when there are arrays, then we can use for each. And I'm trying to show you the program and execute it, how it works. Initially what I'm doing here is trying to assign values to a array called array name with months Jan, Feb, March, April, May, and up to December for each, at the rate months, I'm trying to print this all the months in the array, right? So I can type it as for each.pl. So it checks like January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So it prints all the values that are present in the array. Okay, so this is how for and for each will work. And we have another uh, breaking out loops, that is the last one in the conditional statement. One is the next statement, next keywords will jump to the next iteration of the loop. Last means jumps out of the loop. Redo means jump starts to of the same iteration of the loop. If possible, we are going to see these programs in the next tutorials. So thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great and pleasureful day or an evening.